everyone, we are Group 1. Today, we will present our ESP course design on ESP for CSR reporting. The focus of our topic is describing GRI 405 in Corporate Sustainability Report. This course adopts an ESP-EMI collaborative model. The EMI component is led by me, Li Yiying, from the Department of International Business. The ESP component is supported by 3 language instructors, 徐耿志、叶静怡以及杨燕京老师. Together, we help students bridge the gap between disciplinary knowledge and professional English communication. Our presentation is organized into 4 main parts. First, we will briefly introduce the course description. To begin, we conduct an EMI ESP needs analysis. Our target students are 2nd to 4th year international business majors at the CEFR B1 level. The EMI task is to present the findings from the CSR reporting using GRI standards for their IHRM midterm presentation. The needs analysis of disciplinary language include vocabulary for describing graphs and trends, academic structure to describe graphs and trends. To address this, we provide ESP support through sentence patterns and data description. In this unit, we focus on ESG as a global trend. Among the 3 ESG dimensions, the social aspect is particularly important, and human resource management plays a key role in it. We guide students to describe how list companies implement the global reporting initiative standards through their CSR report. In particular, we emphasize DEI, diversity, equity, and inclusion as a critical topic within the social dimension. Therefore, this unit is designed around the GRI 405, which focus on diversity and equal opportunity. Next, we will talk about the intended learning outcomes.
So having learned about the course descriptions, now let's talk about intended learning outcomes. In order to facilitate the cooperations between EMI and ESP teacher, the EMI IOO will be focusing on present the findings from the CSR report. And as ESP teachers, we'll need to help students to know how to describe the CSR figures, graph, or trend. For example, the use of line graph to illustrate the trend of the employment rates between male and female employees over the past 5 years. And in accordance with the genre A, in order to achieve the academic functions, which is to describe the company CSR report, we help students to be equipped with the sentence patterns. For example, in line with the GRI 405, the company ensure what kind of policies to promote the goal, for example, division, diversities, and inclusion. And also, students will learn to use vocabularies, for example, percentage, proportions, or phrases such as account for or make up. And let's talk about the learning materials. Students will be presented with all of the authentic materials from established companies, for example, TSMC, by using their CSR report. They will also be presented with YouTube videos to enhance their understanding. And in terms of the visual descriptions, students are presented with, for example, the line graph to learn how to describe the promotion rate by gender and the percentage of female employee. And all of these materials are from authentic CSR report. Next, let's talk about learning task design.
Our learning task is for students to describe the graphs and trends from unpacking, describing graphs, charts, and CSR report, scaffolding using target vocabulary sentence pattern, to repacking. In the unpacking stage, we'll show the 5 key vocabulary and sentence pattern for the lesson, along with example sentences. As we unpack using Quizlet and ChatGPT, we added practice so students can practice with the AI-generated vocabulary tool. In this stage, for the students to get more familiar with vocabulary, we also provided scaffolding activity for vocabulary match. Here is another example for sentence pattern practice in scaffolding.
Now let's look at how we help students move toward repacking. In this stage, we use a clause task to facilitate contextual integration. Instead of just memorizing isolated words, students practice using key reporting terms like diversity or account for within a real TSMC report. Through these tasks, they learn how these words actually function in a professional business document. It's about helping them understand the logical structure of corporate language. This slide shows the most important part of our design, the transformation. On the left, you see a student just translates numbers into simple English, like I can see that the graph blah 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 is at 33%. On the right, you see the learning output. By using our ESP sentence patterns, students learn to produce a professional summary. They are now able to say the percentage of females accounted for 33%, representing a slight decrease compared to the previous year. They are no longer just reading data. They are now able to speak using the formal language required in a workplace. To conclude, our pedagogical floor leads students on a clear path from unpacking to repacking. First, they unpack authentic materials to see how professionals write. Then they use our scaffolding to practice those patterns. Finally, in the repacking stage, they synthesize everything to create their own professional output. By the end of this process, our students move beyond basic English and gain the practical skills to deliver clear and professional reports. The following part is our reference, which is used for this presentation. Thank you very much.